The movie begins and we see Sienna, who is an MMA fighter, and she also used to work as a trainer at her gym. Sienna had a little sister named Beth and a best friend, Brent. Sienna had a very different life, and never in her life had she fallen in love with someone. One day, as Sienna is out with her sister Beth and Brent, she makes eye contact with Jax and they start talking. Jax was also an MMA fighter. It did not take much time for them to fall in love with each other and start a relationship. Sienna also starts to train Jax in the gym. Jax turns out to be one of the best fighters in the UGF gym. Sienna was madly in love with Jax, and all of this was like a dream for her. Jax goes through an accident and breaks his leg. Due to his injury, now Jax is unable to fight, so he goes into depression. Jax loses hope and thinks that he will never be able to fight again. Sienna really loves Jax, and she promises him that she will train him and turn him back into the fighter he was before. After a few months, Jax recovers and we see that he is training with Sienna at the gym. Jax even seems to be in better shape than before. Sienna was taking really good care of Jax's diet and training. She was very happy that she had a boyfriend like Jax. One day as Sienna gets back home, she catches Jax getting intimate with her sister Beth. This shatters Sienna and she cannot believe what had just happened. Sienna leaves and cries a lot. She did not have a place to stay, so she spent the night at the gym. No matter how hard she tries, she cannot get Jax out of her mind. Hoping to change her lifestyle and her surroundings, she joins the school again. As Sienna goes to the school, she meets Brent. She tells him that Jax cheated on her with her own sister. She tells him that she cannot go back to living with Jax and she does not have enough budget to get a place of her own. Brent tells her that he knows a guy who might share his apartment with her at a very low cost. Brent tells her that the guy is a little complicated and everyone thinks that he is a little different. Sienna goes to meet this guy. He lives in the basement of the building. As he opens the door, he is shirtless. Seeing his fit body, Sienna knows that he is a fighter too. The guy's name is Caden. Sienna tells him that Brent sent her and she wants to share his apartment. Caden tells her that he does not want to share his apartment. She tells him that she does not have a place to stay and she doesn't even have much money on her. Caden still shows no interest in sharing his apartment with her and closes the door in her face. Sienna goes to her gym as that is the only place that she can go now. At the gym, she finds out that Jax left the gym and went to some other gym. All along, he was just using Sienna to improve his skills. She sees a flyer with Jax's fight promotion. Sienna notices that the person Jax was about to fight was none other than Caden, who was known as the Underground King of MMA. Sienna goes to see the fight, and at the arena, Jax comes from behind her and grabs her. He tells her that he made a mistake and she should forget about it. Sienna tells him that she invested everything in him for the past whole year, and in return, he betrayed her. Later, Sienna meets Brent there as well. He tells her that Caden is his brother, but they both are adopted. Caden sees that Sienna is also in the audience. Sienna also bets on Caden. The fight begins. Both the fighters are very skilled, but Jax is having the upper hand in the fight. Before the fight can end, the police raid the place and everyone gets out of there. Sienna had placed the bet on Caden with all the money she had left, so she now sleeps at a bus station. The next morning, she gets up and decides that she has to start all over again, and this time there will be no crying. She goes to Caden's gym. There, she walks up to Caden and tells him that it will be very difficult for him to defeat Jax in a fight. She tells him that she trained Jax and knows his every move, and she is willing to train Caden if he agrees. At first, Caden refuses, but Sienna tells him that she knows all of Jax's moves and she can teach Caden how to counter them. Eventually, Caden agrees and asks Sienna what she wants in return. Sienna tells him that she had placed a bet on him last night with all of her leftover money. She says he wishes to share his apartment with her. Later, Caden takes her home with him. The next morning, as Sienna is leaving the building, she meets Kara. Kara also lives in the same building. As they both went to the same school, Kara gives Sienna a ride to school. When they get home, Sienna sees that her sister Beth and Jax are now together. Sienna tries to talk to Beth and tells her that Jax is not a good person. He will betray her when he is done using her. The next day, Sienna sees that Caden had already left the apartment and he left some money for her with a note saying, "Don't bet on me." Sienna gets angry and goes to the gym to talk to Caden. Sienna says to Caden that we had a deal, that I will train you and you will let me live at your apartment. Caden tells her that he had paid her now, so she does not have to live at his apartment now. Sienna tells him that she does not want the money and she just wants to defeat Jax. She provokes Caden to fight her and she defeats him very easily. Later, Caden takes Sienna for lunch at a restaurant. Kara works at this restaurant. Sienna tells Caden that she wants to train him, but that does not mean that she likes him. She says that she will not be dating a fighter ever in her life. Caden tells her that she should not date and especially not him. The next day, they start their training. Sienna and Caden both are working really hard for this. Sienna goes to UGF gym and the coach there tells Sienna that her sister has been calling her. He says that she should talk to her as they are sisters, and they should talk things out. Sienna ignores her and keeps her focus on training Kaden. One day Beth comes to the gym as Sienna has just got done training with Kaden. Beth wants to talk to her, but she is not in the mood to talk to her, so she leaves. Sienna still can't forget what Jax did to her. As she sits and wanders, Kaden comes and tells her that no matter what happens, family is the most important thing a person can have in the world. In the next scene, we see that Sienna is having a romantic dream. In her dream, she sees that Kaden and Jax both are there with her. Then Kaden wakes her up from her dream and tells her that his match with Jax is happening soon. They start the training, and this time Sienna starts to train his sensitivity. She ties a blindfold on Kaden's eyes, and he has to feel his opponent, judge his moves. The training will help him fight opponents bigger in size than him. Later, Kaden asks Sienna why she is a good fighter, so why does she not fight? She tells him that Jax always told her that she was a good trainer, not a fighter. She says that she wants to fight. Kaden tells her that she should do what she wants to do and not listen to others. He tells her that whatever Jax did with her, he will regret it one day. The next day, Sienna is in the gym training Kaden, and Jax shows up there. He tells Sienna that he still misses her and that if she comes back to him, he will leave her sister. Listening to this, Sienna gets very angry and tells Jax that she is training Kaden so that he can defeat him in the fight. After the training, Kaden asks Sienna what will happen if he loses the fight. Sienna tells him that he will definitely win the fight. Jax again shows up and starts to tease Sienna. This enrages her and she starts to break Jax's bike. Jax comes after her, but Kaden takes her away. To keep her mind away from Jax, Sienna starts to paint the walls of Kaden's apartment. By now, Kaden and Sienna have grown very much closer to each other and they have started liking each other. Sienna goes to UGF gym and tells Julian that because of Jax, their gym has lost a lot. If he lets Kaden train in the gym and if he wins the fight, then maybe the gym will gain back what it has lost. Julian agrees with her and now Kaden starts to train in UGF. Brent is getting married, so he calls Sienna and Beth for shopping. He calls both of them to the same shop so that they can first talk about all the issues between them. Instead of sorting things out again, they get into an argument. Sienna was really worried because of the situation. Later, Kaden asks Sienna what is bothering her, and she tells him that she knows that Jax will do the same with Beth as he did with her. Sienna sees a woman's tattoo on Kaden's hand and asks him about it. Kaden ignores Sienna's question and Sienna gets upset. She tells him that she shares everything with him, but he always stays reserved, and then Kaden leaves without saying anything. Kaden goes up to Sienna and he tells her that she is very beautiful and strong. He says that he is not good enough for her. Sienna tells Kaden that she likes him and that such things should not matter, and they start a new relationship. After spending the night together, the next day Kaden tells Sienna that he loves her and wants to spend his life with her. Later they meet with Julian, and Julian asks Sienna if Jax and Kaden have a fight in 1 week. Will Kaden be ready for that? Sienna promises Julian that he will be ready in 1 week. Sienna and Kaden start training very hard for the fight. Julian sees Sienna fighting an MMA champion and tells her that she can still become one of the best fighters if she starts fighting. She must give herself a chance. Kaden and Sienna go to Brent's wedding. There, Jax starts to talk to Sienna and gets close to her body. Kaden comes and stops Jax. Jax tells Kaden that Sienna is just using him, and after the fight, she will return to Jax. Then, to make Kaden angry, Jax says that Kaden killed his mother. This makes Kaden very angry and they get into a fight there. During the fight, Jax even hits Kaden with a chair. After the fight, Kaden tells Sienna that the tattoo on his arm is of his mother. Kaden tells her that his mother worked very hard to raise him. One day as Kaden was drunk at a party, his mother went out looking for him and got in an accident. Kaden still blames himself for that accident. Kaden had realized that Sienna is still in love with Jax, so he then breaks up with her. The fight between Jax and Kaden was the next day, and Kaden had a broken rib. Sienna tells him that he cannot fight in this condition. Kaden does not listen to her and leaves. The next day, Julian sees that Kaden is injured, so he tells Kaden to cancel the fight, but Kaden tells him that he is ready for the fight. The fight begins and Sienna and Brent are also there to support Kaden. Jax somehow knew that Kaden had broken ribs and he continuously keeps attacking him on his ribs. Seeing this, Sienna feels Kaden's pain and she realizes that she loves Kaden, not Jax. Kaden is losing the match. He gets off the ground and gathers all his power to throw a kick, which knocks out Jax. With just one move, Kaden knocked out Jax and won the match. The crowd starts to cheer in happiness to support Kaden. Sienna gets inside the octagon and she tells Kaden that he has done it. Kaden replies that they have done it. They then kiss. Jax comes back to his senses after the knockout and he sees that Kaden and Sienna are kissing. He gets up, runs towards them, and tries to punch Kaden. He misses Kaden and hits Sienna. She gets knocked out cold and falls to the ground. Sienna was unconscious for 3 days and Kayden was by her side at the hospital all this time. When Sienna comes back to her senses, Kayden was not there and she finds her sister Beth and Brent by her side. Kayden had left a letter for Sienna before leaving. In the letter, he wrote that Sienna had always helped others and never did anything for herself. He wanted her to do something for herself now, and as long as he stays with her, that will not be possible. So he decided to leave her and go away. Jax comes to visit Sienna at the hospital. He apologizes to her for all that she had to go through because of him. Sienna forgives him for everything. After getting discharged, Sienna goes back to Kayden's apartment and finds out that he is not there. At this time, Sienna realizes that she is an addict. First, she loved Jax, which turned into an obsession and he broke her heart. Then, to take revenge on him, she fell in love with Kayden. She realizes that she needed to love herself, not someone else. Sienna then even forgives her sister, and she tells Sienna that she broke up with Jax. After some time, when Sienna had fully recovered, she starts to train with Julian. One day as she is training, Kayden comes by. He tells her that he is happy that Sienna has fully recovered, and now she is focusing on her dreams. He then tells her that he will be joining Sienna's school, and that he also wants to move in with Sienna. This will be a new beginning for both of them. Julian tells them that he needs champions in his gym. Now Kayden and Sienna will both train in UGF. The movie ends here. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new movies.